Yo, what is going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to talk about something that is very important to me, and that is going to be how you should be playing defense. Now, I know a lot of you guys already know the meta blitzes. You already know, how to set up this, that, X, Y, Z, right? That's not going to stop you from learning something in this video. Now, in this video, I am going to go over what has become a popular formation, that being the 2-4-5 odd. But I'm going to show you how you can actually game plan how to stop specific offensive schemes once you understand what makes a blitz or a concept work, right? Everybody at this point knows tight offset tight end is great against the big dime 1-4-6, mainly because the inside zone, unless you make a lot of adjustments defensively, is going to absolutely gash the 1-4-6 defense. Now, the 1-4-6 is phenomenal in terms of stopping shotgun because of the fact that it basically shoots 95% of the runs. And once you don't have to worry about the running game, then you can get crazy with your adjustments defensively to get stops. So that is why the tight offset tight end picked up a ton of steam real early in the year this year when we first dropped it over on Madden Daily. I know a lot of sites have dropped it since then. Basically, to this day, it is still one of the top, I would say, 3 to 5 offenses in the game. And I don't even think that's really up for debate. And you see it online, right? If you play Weekend League, at least I would say probably 5 to 10 of your 25 games are going to be against this tight offset tight end scheme, especially now that a human joystick quarterback has come out, and now you have to worry about Randall Cunningham and the QB blast out of the Taysom Hill package. So, without a doubt, this scheme is amazing offensively. But, like I said, I'm going to circle back to this. I wanted to talk about how you can scheme defensively to counter these metas. Now, a lot of people, like I said, they know how to bring pressure against tight offset tight end. That's going to be the 1-4-6. And that will stop a average player. It's not going to stop an elite player, because an elite player is going to know that as long as he mixes up the runs just enough to get your linebackers out of the gap, it's then a lot easier for him to go ahead and pick up your blitz because he knows who's coming and who's not coming. There's no way to really trick them at that point. So, let's go ahead and circle back to the defensive side of the ball. Now, defensively, when I see this scheme, right, this tight offset tight end scheme, I know right away that I'm going to go to the nickel 2-4-5 odd defense. And the way that I set my defense up, as you guys can see, is I put my big hitter, whoever I have with Enforcer, Tackle Supreme, basically anybody that I want to guarantee that I make the tackle, I put at this left linebacker spot. Now, this can be a safety, it can be a linebacker. Doesn't matter which one, right? So if you play with the Jets, you can put Jamal Adams there. If you're in Mutt, you can put anybody there. So yeah, either a linebacker or a safety, ideally that has Enforcer or Tackle Supreme, something along those lines, right? Because the last thing you want to do is to have them break the tackle in the backfield and then get a long gain. So, besides that, you pretty much don't really need much. Now, the only other spot that I think is very important in this scheme is going to be this defensive end that is on the right of screen. Now, this is a linebacker spot technically. So, you see I put Clowney there. You can put a middle linebacker, right outside, left outside, or right end or left end at this spot. That's the only thing you can do with them. Now, this guy flips. So if you were to flip your formation, the two players that flip are going to be the corner that is in the slot on the left, and then this defensive end / linebacker. Now, I do call this formation flipped. Now, I call it flipped because it's going to get you a lot more consistent gap shoot against the run. And that's the big thing that I like taking away. I'm going to completely take away my opponent's ability to run the ball, whether it be at a tight offset tight end or the QB blast. The last thing I want them to do is to be able to get up out of there with that. So, what we're going to do is we're coming out in bench blitz 3 at a 2-4-5 odd. Once again, very meta, scheme. I'm sure you guys have seen it. If you haven't, type it into YouTube. I'm sure it's going to come up. It's BAMS or Schemin, depending on how long you've been around the community. It is his defense. He's the one that came up with it and at least made it popular in the first place. So, bench blitz 3, we're calling this flipped. Now, we're going to go ahead. I'm setting the audibles for tight offset tight end. You've got 0-1 trap, inside zone, Y out halfback swing, and then the last one is pretty much up to you. Most people go with PAY shot. A couple people go with bench. Very rarely do people actually use other plays besides those top 3. Now, the thing that they're going to audible to is going to be Taysom Hill QB package, and the main thing they're going to run is a QB blast. Some people will also put the Y lead read option in there. I don't personally use it, so I don't run it into it a ton. Most people will just run blast, or at least in the salary cap wave, right? But so we're going to come out in this, and I'm just going to show you how this works. So inside zone. Now, defensively, the way that you want to set this up, and I'm going to go pretty slow for you guys. You want to come out, you want to show blitz. Now, showing blitz is good. The thing to note is you cannot base align with this. So your show blitz is going to be your first step. I like it because it brings this safety down here into the box, and he's the one that's going to be in that outside third. Now, what you want to do next is you want to put this outside corner that is on this left-hand side into whatever zone you want, whether it be a hard flat, cloud flat, soft squat. Those are the ones you're going to put them into mostly, right? So the general one I like is going to be a soft squat. And then after here, we want to QB contain. So once we QB contain, this is how our defense looks. Now, in order to stop the run, you need to blitz the middle linebacker over here on this left-hand side, Bobby Wagner. So you blitz him down. And then at this point, you can either run it like this, and this is going to be, what, a 5-man blitz? A 5-man blitz. But the key to it is it's going to stop the run, right? So we're going to call him inside zone. Wagner shoots free. He's going to make the tackle. And that's going to be every single time. And it doesn't matter if it's flipped or not, right? So say they flip the inside zone, trying to get tricky. You can do the exact same thing. All right, so we've got it all set up again. Doesn't matter, inside zone going to the right. Wagner still coming in free, not having any of that. That'll work against that, and it'll also work against 0-1 trap, as I'll show you here in a second. Now, the thing I wanted to talk about next is going to be how you can get, adjusty with your coverage. So you can make the same adjustments here, but the other thing that you need, or you could do if you want, this left of screen defensive end, you can put him into any sort of zone you want, whether it's a hook, a spy, whatever the case may be. What I typically like to do as a base setup is I'll put him into a vert hook, and then that's going to be my typical rush right there. Now, if my opponent is not trying to get up out of the pocket, then you can leave this as is. If they are trying to get up out of the pocket, you can put either of those two players into QB spies. Preferably the one on the right that is on the contain. So I would make the adjustment that looks like this. And the reason I do this is because Clowney is so far out on this left-hand side that say we come out in Y out and we're trying to pass the ball, right? So you can do one of the many setups. So something like this. The most easy way people try to pick up the pressure is they're going to try to roll out of the pocket and they try to double team. Well, Clowney is so far out on that left-hand side, and both defensive ends are technically on that left side, that you can't double team. As you can see, I'm scrolling through. I can't go any farther than Wagner right here. So you'll see that I have no shot of actually being able to double team. Therefore, I can't then ID. So it's going to be very difficult to roll up out of the pocket. Now, the way that they could do, if they wanted to, would be to roll right. Because as you saw, I can double team here and then ID this guy and be able to roll up out of the pocket to the right. Most people that use this scheme, they use a receiver here where Boyle is that has route apprentice or slot apprentice, and they put him on a corner route. That way they have two really good corners. They can roll to both sides, make the throw, right? So the counter to that, though, would be to just put that defensive end on that right-hand side, the one that we have ID'd, put him into a spy. Because then they will technically be able to roll out slightly, but they won't be able to cut block him. So as soon as they start to roll right, we click in the spy and we're good. That's not something I can really show you here in practice mode with 2 controllers and all, but I just wanted to explain the theory behind the reason I do it. Now, like I said, defensively, there's not that many people that we're blitzing, right? So we're able to adjust this coverage shell to however we want, right? We can main up whoever. I typically love this flat and outside third combination over here on this left-hand side. What I do most of the time when I see this is I play on this safety right here, and then I lurk anything that goes to this right side of the field. Because I know, like I said, they're not going to really be able to roll left because of how far Clowney and the defensive end are over there. So if they're going to roll anywhere, they're going to ideally roll to the right, and then that's going to be exactly where I am playing. That's why I really like this vert hook right here. You also got the 3-rec right here, and this QB spy. So anybody that tries to, utilize the low ball hitches, there's a lot of zones right there that they have to be, they have to make sure they time it right. Otherwise, they're just going to instantly throw a pick. And like I said, the key to this is you're not going to allow them to run the ball at all. So I've showed you inside zone. Let's go ahead and I'm going to show you the 0-1 trap. So we got 0-1 trap right here. We're going to go ahead, like the ball, 0-1 trap. As you see, absolutely blasted in the backfield. Once again, would not matter if it's on the left or the right. It's going to work the exact same. It's just the way that the defense works. So now let's talk about their audible game, right? So the thing that they will do is a lot of people, when they see a look like this, whether it be 1-4-6 or, really anything that is spread like this, they'll audible to the QB blast. Now, the QB blast does typically work. So we're going to go ahead and show blitz again. Boom. You got a blitz Wagner over here on this left-hand side. And now you see that there's really nowhere for them to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do this once again. We're going to audible over. So you saw how that defensive end in this scenario moved in. So if we show blitz, make whatever adjustment that we want to right here, we could then just blitz all of our linebackers, because most people aren't passing out of this. I'd say 99% aren't. And then you can just go ahead, move him in. You can set up the blitz however you want. But as you'll see, the QB blast is not going to work. The only thing that you want to do when they audible over to that is you want to make sure that you blitz the other middle linebacker. So as you see, I went to instant replay. The fact that we blitzed the linebacker on the right, Griffin, that's going to allow Wagner to come in free again. And the running back will never pick him up. I've ran into this hundreds of times at this point, and I've never seen the running back pick him up. So as you can see, they really can't go anywhere. Now, theoretically, they could try to break this to the outside, but the initial delay step, as you see right here, makes it almost impossible to outrun that player as long as they're equally fast. In Mutt, it's dead right away. With Tackle Supreme, you can't go anywhere with it. With Regs, you might be able to get up out of the pocket every once in a while, just because Lamar might be able to outrun the linebacker. If that does happen, put your fastest safety there. He will struggle to outrun him at that point. But as you see, now you've completely killed the running game out of this. So let's go ahead and talk about the passing scheme. Like I said, at a Y out, most people are just trying to hit these corners. Very few people run anything else. They just try to hit the corners. And you can stop that all very easily. So we're going to go ahead, set up our coverage defense again. And I just want to show you how this works. So we've zoned out the guys on the left. We're going to user the corner on the right. So just imagine that we're usering this side over here. So I've already talked about how you can't really get up out of the pocket to the left. So we go ahead. I'm going to try to do it the best that you can. Like, I know this will be able to kind of slow it down, right, in terms of the contain. So I'm going to go ahead, ID him, but then I'm going to try to roll to the left, and I'm going to try to throw that corner out to the left-hand side. And I just want you to watch how this plays, right? So if I try to roll left, you see I really couldn't right there, even with the ID combination that you use. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to motion the running back over, which is something that people do. Let me go ahead and set the defense up real quick. There we go. So we're set up. Now, what you'll see people try is this right here. Well, they'll motion the running back over. This is going to give them the tell that they're going to try to cut block the linebacker on the left. So here we go. Now, if I am able to roll left, you see it's really difficult to throw that corner. It's just because you have to wait a split second. So I'm going to go to instant replay right here. So by us having to wait for Clowney to eventually come in and get blocked, by us rolling out at this point, the vert hook that is by that defensive end just really screws up his ability to run that corner very quickly. As you see right here, like Willie Snead is trying dumb hard to break this to the outside, but he can't. So by the time he's actually able to get there, you can see we're already almost at the sideline trying to, throw this pass. Now, is there a window for them to potentially, especially if they have post flag elite, make this throw? Yeah, but you can counter that just by moving your safety down a little bit farther.